And the ever-churning universe of General Hospital, rumors travel faster than a Metro court elevator in free fall. One casting whisper becomes a fandom wildfire, and suddenly every glance, every line of dialogue, every off-screen absence is evidence. That's exactly what's happening now as buzz builds around Hudson West, best known to GH viewers as Jake Weber, and his reported new gig outside the soap. The question echoing through social media timelines and message boards is as dramatic as any cliffhanger. Is Jake Weber leaving General Hospital again? To understand why this rumor has struck such a nerve, you have to understand Jake Weber himself. Where he's been, what he represents, and why his presence on GH feels less like a supporting role and more like an emotional anchor tied to the show's legacy. Jake Weber isn't just another teen in Port Charles. He's a walking, talking bundle of GH history. Born to Elizabeth Weber and Jason Morgan, two of the most iconic characters the show has ever produced, Jake has been at the center of tragedy, mystery, and emotional upheaval since infancy. From the infamous presumed death that haunted Elizabeth for years, to the shocking revelation that Jake was alive and being raised under another name, his story has always been steeped in loss and second chances. When Hudson West stepped into the role, he inherited more than a character. He inherited expectations. And, quietly but steadily, he delivered. Hudson West's portrayal of Jake Weber has never been loud or flashy, and that's precisely why it works. His Jake is introspective, observant, and emotionally restrained in a way that feels authentic to a child who grew up surrounded by secrets and trauma. He doesn't monologue. He doesn't steal scenes. Instead, he grounds them. Whether Jake is sharing quiet moments with Elizabeth, navigating the complicated absence of Jason, or existing on the fringes of the teen scene with Danny and Charlotte, Hudson West brings a lived-in realism that makes Jake feel like a real kid growing up in an unreal town. That's why fans are nervous. Because characters like Jake don't explode, they fade. And GH fans have been burned by that before. The current wave of exit speculation began innocently enough. Reports surfaced that Hudson West had booked a new acting project outside of General Hospital. No official announcement. No dramatic farewell post. Just industry chatter and social media breadcrumbs that suggested he's expanding his resume. On paper, this shouldn't be alarming. Young actors book other jobs all the time. Especially those balancing school, growth spurts, and the unpredictable pace of daytime television. But GH fans know the pattern. A new role often precedes fewer episodes, longer absences, off at boarding school explanations, or, worst of all, a sudden recast or write-off. So when viewers notice Jake appearing less frequently, and when he did appear, often without a central storyline, the speculation machine kicked into high gear. Jake Weber has left before. Fans remember it well. There were stretches when Jake was barely mentioned. Times when Elizabeth's story moved forward without him. Periods when it felt like the writers simply didn't know what to do with Jason's son once the mystery of his survival had been resolved. But this time feels different, and more dangerous, because of where GH is creatively right now. Whether Jason Morgan is on-screen, off-screen, presumed dead, or dramatically resurrected, his shadow dominates General Hospital. And Jake Weber is the one character who embodies Jason's emotional consequences more than anyone else. Jake isn't just Jason's son. He's the life Jason never lived. That makes Jake essential, especially now, when GH is once again grappling with Jason's legacy, choices, and impact on the people he left behind. If Jake disappears again, it's not just a casting shift. It's a narrative wound. Rebecca Herbst's Elizabeth Weber has spent decades carrying the emotional weight of Port Charles. Survivor, single mother, nurse, romantic heroine. Elizabeth has done it all. But her most consistent through line has always been her children. Jake, in particular, represents Elizabeth's guilt over the years she believed him dead. Her complicated connection to Jason. Her fear of history repeating itself. Without Jake on canvas, Elizabeth loses one of her most emotionally potent story engines. And with GH currently exploring maturity, reflection, and legacy, sidelining Jake would feel like a missed opportunity of epic proportions. Another reason fans are worried? The current state of GH's teen scene. Let's be honest, Port Charles has struggled to maintain a consistent, compelling group of teens in recent years. Characters come and go. Actors age out. Storylines stall. Jake Weber, alongside Danny Morgan, has the potential to anchor the next generation. Not as carbon copies of their parents, but as young men shaped by the chaos those parents created. If Hudson West exits now, GH risks losing one of the few organic bridges between its iconic past and its uncertain future. As of now, General Hospital has made no official announcement regarding Hudson West's status. No confirmation. No denial. No Jake is heading off-screen for a while press release. In Soapland, silence is rarely accidental. Sometimes it means negotiations are ongoing. Sometimes it means the show is waiting to see how a new project shakes out. And sometimes, yes, it means the writers are quietly preparing an exit strategy. The lack of clarity is what's fueling the anxiety. Because GH fans have learned the hard way that by the time an announcement is made, the decision has already been finalized. There is, however, another possibility, one that doesn't involve Jake Weber disappearing into the narrative void. Hudson West's new gig could signal growth, not goodbye. Many young daytime actors balance recurring soap roles, streaming projects, film work, voice acting, theater. It's entirely possible that GH is adjusting Jake's episode count while keeping him firmly in the long-term plan. This could even open the door for a slow-burn coming-of-age arc, a future Sora's soap opera rapid aging syndrome transition, a more prominent role once schedules align. In other words, Jake may be stepping back now so he can step forward later. Let's address the elephant in the room, recasting. Soaps recast. It's part of the genre's DNA. But Jake Weber is one of those characters where recasting would be complicated. Hudson West has grown into the role in a way that feels natural and earned. A sudden recast risks alienating viewers who have watched him mature on screen. At the same time, aging Jake up too quickly could rob the character of the slow emotional development that makes him compelling. If Hudson West were to leave permanently, GH would be forced into a creative corner. Write Jake out again. Or recast and risk backlash. Neither option is ideal. Across social media, the mood is clear: don't let Jake disappear again. Fans aren't just worried about Hudson West. They are worried about a pattern, one where legacy kids are treated as optional instead of essential. Where the show leans on nostalgia but fails to invest in its future. Jake Weber isn't just a name. He's a promise. A promise that General Hospital understands its own history and cares enough to build on it. The honest answer? No one knows yet. But the fear is real because the stakes are real. Hudson West's new gig is exciting. It's a testament to his talent and potential. But it's also a reminder of how fragile daytime roles can be, especially for young actors navigating a rapidly changing industry. Whether this moment marks an exit, a pause, or a pivot will depend on choices being made behind the scenes right now. What's certain is this: if General Hospital lets Jake Weber slip away without intention, without story, without impact, it won't just lose a character. It will lose a piece of its soul. Soaps survive by evolving, but they endure by remembering who they are. Jake Weber is the living intersection of love, loss, and legacy. Hudson West has honored that quietly, consistently, and with heart. If this new chapter in his career leads him away from GH, fans will wish him well, but they'll also mourn what could have been. And if he stays, then General Hospital has a golden opportunity to finally do what it's been teasing for years: let Jake Weber step out of the shadows and into a story worthy of his name. Either way, the next move matters. Because in Port Charles, exits are never just exits. They are echoes.